Yeah, if they're telling you that there's no clones, the guy telling you is probably a fucking clone. At this point, I have no doubt that they've made human clones. They've made dog clones. You can get your dog cloned. If your dog's gonna die, you can get the DNA from your dog, get a puppy, and it'll be eerily similar to your dog. They think including some personality traits, which is just very bizarre, very Pet Cemetery.
Right.
But if they can do that, why can't they do that to people?
The episode opens with Joe Rogan staring at the screen. A clip of Jim Carrey at the César Awards plays silently in the background. Joe pauses it and shakes his head. Okay, he says, the internet has officially lost its mind. Over the past few days, social media has been flooded with viral posts claiming that Jim Carrey isn't actually Jim Carrey anymore. Some users insist he looks different. Others say his voice sounds off. The most extreme theory that he's been cloned or replaced.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh. I like it. You can use a scraping.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and look at him trying to.
Huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a César Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time, giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in power.
Joe leans forward. First of all, let's calm down. He explains that the footage sparking the controversy came from Jim Carrey's rare public appearance at the César Awards in Paris. It was one of his first major red carpet moments in a while. Fans were excited more until clips started circulating out of context. People began pointing out subtle differences. His facial structure looked older, his expression seemed less animated. His energy appeared subdued compared to his wild 1990s interviews. Within hours, hashtags started trending, not the real Jim, body double, clone. The algorithm amplified it. The conspiracy machine kicked into full gear.
Jim Carrey was devastated last September when his 30-year-old girlfriend herself. Now, 10 months after the funeral for makeup artist Katrina White, the just-released autopsy report details her final days. She left a Side note for Carrey, they had broken up the week before. I've spent 3 days now in disbelief that you're not here. I can go on brokenhearted and try to put the pieces back. I could, I just don't have the will this time.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
Chris Spargo is a reporter with thedailymail.com, which obtained the autopsy report.
Jim Carrey texted her the night before saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
The toxicology report says she had multiple drugs in her system, including pain medication prescribed to an Arthur King, who is believed to be an alias used by Carrey, according to published reports.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
Carrey last spoke to Katrina White via FaceTime for 3 minutes. Her body was found 4 days later in her rented home in Los Angeles. In her note, Katrina left the funeral arrangements up to Carrey.
We know they called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone, before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
She ended her note to Carrey saying, "Please forgive me. I am just not for this world." She signed it Dewdrop, the pet name given to her by Jim Carrey.
Jim had also stopped attending award shows, and at one point even called them the most meaningless thing he could think of.
In the streets, you need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're
I
celebrating.
mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe in
icons. Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
He explains that Jim Carrey is in his 60s now. Lighting changes faces, weight fluctuates, facial hair alters structure, camera lenses distort angles, social media compresses video quality. Add all that together and you get a viral illusion. But Joe doesn't stop there. Instead, he dives into why people are so quick to believe cloning conspiracies in the first place. He argues that celebrity culture creates a mental freeze frame. Fans remember stars at their peak. Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. That version of Jim Carrey becomes permanent in people's minds. When the real person ages, it feels wrong.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops
Who's
in
this
the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
They would have Michael Jackson.
or worse, yeah.
So,
Look at
Today, the world was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Or, well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, it was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect. And this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional. He's
completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so publicly? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
If there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're
Joe explains that our brains struggle with drastic change in familiar faces. It triggers cognitive dissonance. Instead of accepting aging, some people subconsciously search for a more dramatic explanation. It's easier to believe in clones than in time, Joe says. He pulls up side-by-side comparisons from different decades, same person, different hair, different lighting, different body weight. Joe points out how wildly different anyone can look across 30 years. Then he gets serious. What's really interesting, he says, is how fast the internet jumps to the most extreme explanation. Joe argues that we're living in an era of digital paranoia. Deepfakes exist. AI exists. Government secrecy exists. So when something feels slightly off, people connect it to the biggest possible narrative: clone technology, replacement theories, elite experiments. Joe says this reaction reveals more about society than about Jim Carrey. He shifts into discussing how social media trains users to search for anomalies. Algorithms reward shocking takes. If someone posts, "He looks older," it gets ignored. If someone posts, "They cloned him," it explodes. Outrage equals engagement. Joe explains that the cloning theory also taps into a long-running internet myth, the idea that powerful elites secretly replace celebrities who become inconvenient. It's a storyline that's been recycled with multiple public figures over the years, but there's no evidence, no verified scientific capability to clone fully formed adult humans and replace them seamlessly. No credible proof that this has ever happened. Joe says something that changes the tone of the episode. You know what's sad? Jim Carrey has been open about stepping away from Hollywood. He's talked about burnout, he's talked about painting, he's talked about disillusionment with fame, and now when he shows up looking older and calmer, people say he's a clone. Joe believes the conspiracy strips humanity away from celebrities. It turns aging into scandal. It turns normal change into suspicion. He also addresses how Jim Carrey's personality evolved over time. In the 1990s, he was hyper-energetic, explosive, chaotic. In later interviews, he became more philosophical, introspective, spiritual. When people see that contrast, they assume something dramatic must have happened. Joe says something blunt. Or maybe he just matured. He explains that personality shifts over decades are normal. Fame at 30 is different from fame at 60. Energy levels change, priorities shift. Joe then examines the visual evidence being shared online. Freeze frames taken mid-blink, low-resolution zoom-ins, clips played at odd speeds. He points out how easily context can distort perception. You can make anyone look weird if you pause at the wrong frame. The conversation becomes broader. Joe argues that the cloning conspiracy reflects a deeper distrust of institutions. People don't trust media, they don't trust governments, they don't trust corporations. So when something looks unusual, they assume manipulation. He says skepticism is healthy, but fantasy isn't evidence. Joe makes it clear, there is no proof Jim Carrey has been cloned. There is no verified documentation of secret replacement programs. There is no credible scientific demonstration of full human cloning at that level. What exists is aging, lighting, camera angles, and viral amplification. Joe closes the episode by saying something reflective. We need to remember these are real human beings. They age, they change, they grow, and the internet doesn't always handle that well. He warns viewers about the speed of digital hysteria, how one viral clip can create a narrative that feels real simply because it's repeated often enough. Repetition feels like truth, but repetition is not proof. Joe ends on a calm note. If Jim Carrey looks different, maybe it's because 30 years passed. That's it. No clones, no secret labs, just time. And sometimes, he says, the simplest explanation is the right one.